Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Say You podcast, where you get to listen to unlimited range of stories. And today's episode is living and leaving places, right? For those who do not understand the leaving, because English can be a little bit too much. It is living, as in where you live and stay, and then leaving when you're coming from a place going to other places. So leaving, going away. And we are joined by somebody that I'm so blessed to call a brother, a friend. He is a recent graduate and alumni. Yes, baby, alumni from the African Leadership
Yeah, let's
Academy.
go.
His name is Maziko Mijoya, A.K.A. Jabulani, or whatever you want to go with. Yeah. Maziko, I am so pleased and it's an honor for me to welcome you to this podcast. It's been a strange time to get you to be available. Busy man. I say. Yeah, please
Yeah,
welcome.
we can say that. We can say that. Thank you so much, man. It's an honor to actually, you know, be a guest here. Of course, Clara took me by surprise, right? So one day he just told me, "Hey, I need you to be on my podcast one day by force." I was like, "Whoa, okay, cool." And so yeah, I'm so sorry about the time. Yeah, as you said, kind of a bit busy. Also, just like enjoying this period of isolation. But I'm so glad that I'm here and we can make the time and just share what we have. Yeah. Oh, and probably like for an introduction, I guess. So my name is Maziko Mijoya. I'm from Malawi. I'm 19 years of age. A recent graduate of A.K.A. I'm currently on a gap year, exploring my options with college, while at the same time trying to find myself in this gap year season. And yeah, I'm just happy to be here. I'm also a citizen of the Kingdom of God.
Okay. Well,
Let's go.
thank you. Thank you for adding the introduction because I was about to go. I was going to ask you in a very strange way, and you beat me to that.
Yeah.
But it's okay. It's cool. Yeah, please. Really, really, I know how the gap year sometimes looks like or feels like, but I'm glad that you are enjoying and finding your footing in everything that you're doing over there. And now that you've told us where you
Yeah.
live, Malawi, and what you're doing, I
Yeah.
just want to ask you if somebody asked you what is the difference between, of course, you haven't gone to university, but you probably have had
Mhm.
people who goes to university. So somebody could ask you, what's the difference of going straight to university from out of high school straight and taking a gap year? What would you give as a difference, like between the two experiences?
Dang, that's actually quite a loaded question. Because I've been thinking about this, right? I think one phrase you're gonna be hearing me from time to time say a lot is "I've been thinking," right? Because I've really had time to think. So I think when you're transitioning from high school straight to college, at least from what I've seen from my friends, is that you hit the ground running. You may think it's just like any other transition from like one year to another, like in high school, but like it's a totally different environment. First of all, you have to be more independent. Second of all, you're literally like in charge of your attendance, all that, how you conduct yourself at school, the people that you meet. It's just an entirely different environment on its own. Um, and I think for someone who's like city of like a break, because I think one thing that most people don't have is like that time to just like recollect themselves after like an extensive period, like in high school. When you look at it, you're usually thinking with the same brain, just going day by day, going about your day, and every day just advancing to the next class. You're going a level further, and I think when you just have this time, right, where you just focus on yourself, you focus on your emotions, you focus on how you think, you focus on the things around you, filtering out habits. That time is literally very important. And what I say is, if anyone gets into college like now, I'll just probably advise them to defer their admission to the next year and have like some time to just like take a break, because there's just that need to relax, take like your foot off the pedal, recollect, and then go into like uni. I know a lot of people are almost dying with first semester of uni, and they'll really love to take a gap year. It's funny, but yeah, that's what I think.
Man, look, I'm now falling in love with what you just said because this was not intended to be discussed, right? The fact that we're talking about universities, right? This tells me that we should host you again for another topic of, attending universities instead of what we're
Yeah,
doing today. But
yeah.
it's great to hear that as an individual, you've been able to find time to kind of reconnect with your inner soul. Let me use Mr. Darsh's language. Um, and now that you are saying that people who go to universities can hit the ground running, um, there is this, there is this. I think it was a video on Instagram that I heard, and this man was talking about the power of understanding what you
Mm,
want in life, right? And I
mm,
think most of the time when you go straight to university, you're trying to figure out things lively. Literally, when you're at university, you're figuring out stuff. But now that you take a gap year, you get a time to kind of test out stuff and say, no, 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 this might work, this might not work, right? So, yeah,
yeah.
it's great. Um, you are a graduate from African Leadership Academy, one of
So
the
I am.
prestigious high school program, if you will, if not the prestigious high school program on the continent. And well, I want to really hear because now you left the place and you are at home on a gap year. And I just
Hmm.
want to hear what were your experiences, right? For somebody who wants to apply, who is not there, what were your experiences as an individual and how you interacted with the communities actually, all that comes with experiences. And then if somebody was to apply there, what do you think, or what would you tell them that could be their experiences? But first, what were your experiences?
Okay, cool. So I'm actually pretty excited about this question. So my experiences were quite insane, to say the least. One of which was I'm stepping into a new environment abroad. So one, I was away from my family. I was away from almost all my friends, and I was now heading into a space where I had to create my own version of family and friends. You get, and it was a really smooth transition, because I don't know what it is, but like most people at ALA are just nice. And it's not that niceness in a way where like it's weird or like it's forced, but like I think ALA does a really good job of taking really good people and really nice people with kind hearts. Of course, yeah, people do have their ifs and buts later as they get comfortable in the environment, but like it was easy for me to make friends. Someone who is very outgoing. I'm an extrovert, so I like to talk a lot, and I like to just say what's on my mind and really not care what people think about me. So that was one thing, and the community was so welcoming, both to me as an extrovert and some introvert friends that I had. Um, of course, getting used to the culture at ALA, because it was the first time that I had ever been at a boarding school. So that's like taking care of your laundry, taking care of what time you have to eat, prep time, and all that. It's totally different from home. And for me, it was like I started feeling like started feeling good about myself, because I was quite independent, starting to get those first tastes of like, you know, being independent and all that. And another great thing was the whole culture at ALA. There's a whole system where you're placed in different halls, and they have different names, and each hall has its specific culture. And I was so lucky that my hall was literally me pro max. You get what I'm saying? So I enjoyed being in classified. I was a classified gent, still a classified gent at heart, and everything was just me. Just even the people, the way we talked, the way we interacted, it was just amazing. And that ALA culture was just it was just so it just made it so easy for me to like assimilate into the environment and like make myself feel comfortable. Of course, there were some other aspects of my life now as I was going through the years, like for example, being diagnosed with a really serious life-threatening condition, to going as far as taking control of my academics, because academics at ALA also, it's strange. It's not like anything you would have at home. It's very challenging. So I think just finding my footing in that mess that I was kind of in, but the mess that was like being organized was just a whole different level, and I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. Now for people who are applying to ALA, I would say you're stepping into a new environment, so I'll just advise you to have that malleable mindset where you are able to unlearn and learn other things. I think that's one big thing that I felt, when I was at ALA, to say, I was coming from my way of thinking in Malawi, in my community, amongst my friends. And, of course, I'm now moving into a different environment with other smart people, with other brilliant minds, and, just like being able to unlearn things and like, learn things from different people and like, add on to your personality, add on to like how you look at life, and like it does make one feel uncomfortable at times. There's a lot of discomfort when you're trying to like detach yourself from who you were before, and then trying to create a different version of you at ALA, because that's what it does. It makes you think differently. I'm not the same person I was when I was going in 2021. I've come out, I don't even know what to call myself, a Greek god, in terms of, I don't know, Aristotle, I don't know, Stoic. Have become more Stoic after my 2 year journey at ALA. And so if you just have that mindset to just unlearn and relearn, ALA is just your place to like discover. I won't even tell you what to discover. Just go and immerse yourself with that new mindset, right? And do what you have to do. But trust me, to anyone who's gonna get into ALA, and to anyone who is trying to apply to ALA, man, it's one of the best decisions you can make in your life. I'm just telling you facts. If you want to change, if you want to be an actual like change maker and just like be different, this is the place for you. 100%.
I can't add anything there, but I like that she kept on using the word learn and learning, right? I think one of the aspect of ALA is every day seems to be a new day. And this sounds so cliche, right? But you learn a new thing, whether it be about compound,
Seriously.
whether it be about somebody,
Mm-hmm.
right? It's really mind blowing. And again, sometimes I ask these questions because I heard so many people ask me, what should I expect, right? And I'll say, please don't raise any of your expectations, but rather,
True.
I want you to keep your mind at a place where it's able to learn. Literally, just do
Yeah.
that, and then LA is gonna be your home forever. Literally.
Ah, facts. Facts.
I am so grateful that I was able to share spaces with you, and because
Same, bro.
of
Same here too.
the things that I was able to learn from you, right? But also when you came in, right, and I mean both of us, right? We
Mm-hmm.
came in as strangers, and every other person at ALA, we came in
Mm-hmm.
at well, we all
Mm-hmm.
everybody comes in as a stranger to the rest of the community, right? But then talk about
Yeah.
the ability for that community bring us together in such a short amount of period and make us friends, right? Because I know at ALA you have made some undying friends forever, friendships forever.
Yeah, yeah, that's
And I
true. That's
talk
true.
about the ability for that community kind of bring the whole thing to be an intimate living whereby you just make those connections in an instant and then keep them forever, right? I don't know what enables that, but perhaps you could tell us more.
Yeah, we could actually let's see. So first of all, the foundation that, like I said before, everyone is nice. So it's like everyone is pretty accepting, right? And so um, I mentioned about halls, right? Hall culture and how that brings year ones, year twos in that specific hall together, right? But then there's also like recreation activities. So that's like
You say bringing people in the halls together. I remember when I
yeah,
was
that's
when I
one.
was a freshman and I looked at my year twos and I called I think four of them year ones and they literally had to tell me every day that they are year twos, right? Because they just look the same and
Year
they
twos.
interact in the same way and we just
True.
there is no hierarchy. It's crazy.
Exactly. That's another thing. Like, you don't feel like, you're pressured. Like, oh, you're gonna get bullied, or oh, you're like, an outcast from year two, so like they'll belittle you in some way. Because bro, I'm telling you, like when I was in year two, I know year ones who were doing crazy cool things. That I was like, bro, I wish I were you. You know what I'm saying? But like people will be like, but like he's a year one. Like, why would you think like? I mean, that's people who have not experienced ALA, right? They'll probably be like, but like, why would you be looking up to a year one? Because there is no like hierarchy, bro. Like, I think another thing you should just know is you're not technically better than anyone. You're just good at being yourself. And when you're the best version of yourself, then you start to shine. Because no one can be better at being you at what you do. I don't know if that makes sense. So yeah, there's that, and recreation activities. So like that's like sports. Um, Before my old school would have like year one, year two, year four sports, right? Sports teams. But then here it's like you're mingling together. You have year ones on the first team, you have year twos on the first team, year twos as subs, year ones as subs. That whole culture, the whole of it is just so good. When we're looking at learning, right? I don't know some learning experiences that we can talk about. Student enterprises, right? Have interns, you have the people who are running the enterprise at the year two level. You exchanging ideas, learning how everyone thinks, just sort of immersing yourself into that like learning culture and everything. And I think just talking to people, I think that's just a big thing. You can just talk to anyone and like literally just find out something new about them. And it doesn't take much. You may think you're the most socially awkward person, but like, man, I think that's the fun of it. Being socially awkward in such a social environment. You can just like just start talking and people accept you. Um, I don't know another thing to mention because there's so much, man. We
I'm
have
sure.
like
I'm sure.
trips,
I'm sure.
excursions, and
Like,
stuff like that.
sorry.
Like trips, excursions, and stuff like that.
Of course,
Just like
definitely.
you know,
Yeah. I mean,
yeah,
the
there's just a
movie,
lot.
the movie theaters, and then the
Exactly.
trips, the more trips, and all that. Literally, because we all go in the same bus.
Yeah,
It's just too intimate. No, for sure, LA is just different. It's a different environment. Please, if you're out there and you are in the midst of finding your next high school 2 year before university, please look up the thing called ALA. It's a school in South Africa. Go ahead, please, guys. Um, Now that we've spoken about living in a place, right, and
yeah,
making undying and unyielding friendships with people that you find
mm,
there, and yet you were all, strangers, right?
yeah,
It came to the time that we had to leave that place, the and me, right?
yeah,
One of the
man.
saddest moment at ALA, both for year ones, teachers, and year twos, right?
Yep.
talk to me, right? I didn't have you know much of the experience on how to leave that place, because for me it was a different case, right? So
Yeah,
talk to us.
yeah,
How was, like, what are the emotions running through your head? What are you doing 3 days, 2 days before the day that you leave? Like, what is the environment? What is the intensity?
yeah. Let's actually track back to a month before you actually, reach graduation day. You're still writing your A levels. A levels are cooking you, and you just want to leave ALA. You're just done with ALA, and yeah, it's my time to go. You're remembering all the times you were punished by the matrons for making noise. At night. You're so you're just so eager to leave. To experience freedom once again. And then comes the week where you're doing your thesis presentations, and I think that's when it hits you to say, bro, I'm actually about to leave this place. And like I think between that 1 month from that A levels to that thesis time, now it's like you're trying to make the most out of your ALA journey, right? You are spending your last few fun moments with your friends, your close friends. You're just trying to do some new things. Some people are trying to get into the mode of, okay, I'm going to be transitioning to uni in the coming 2 months, and there's just a lot happening. And so the atmosphere is a bit, it changes. You feel the energy change. Everyone becomes a lot less hyper. you know I think it becomes a bit more emotional because now it's like you're about to get ready for that um, detachment. Everyone. So that's your teachers, like you said, the year ones. And for me, it just felt so surreal because I've been living at ALA for 2 years, right? Hear me out. That's 2 years. And, I always say people gain consciousness at like 15. So, like, imagine you're conscious at 15, you're living in your place, your home till like you're 17. And then now you have these 2 years where you're now in this environment, right? You've made close friends, you've adopted that thinking level or whatever, that you've adopted, all those skills, all those things you've learned about people. And now it's about to go in a snap. You get? So it felt so surreal for me because I couldn't really like process things. I think even on my graduation day, I just woke up, got into, my clothes, had my breakfast, got into my gown. I see my family, and next I'm walking on stage receiving my diploma. Everyone's cheering, and it's all done. All those long speeches. It's already like 4 p.m. Everyone is already leaving. It's like people are already leaving. Going to the airport, and it's like, huh? So this is it. And it doesn't hit you because, like, I remember crying in the airplane as I was like, we were taking off, and I wept. I wept, and I was like, I'm gonna miss this place. You know, Even though like you may hate it at a point, but like you're gonna miss that place, and it's so difficult to detach yourself because, man, I don't know. ALA feeds you some love potion, bro. I don't know what it is. You just start to remember every good thing about it. All the things you learned. You're saying goodbye to your friends you might probably never ever see again, bro. That's another scary thing. Like, oh, I just knew you for 2 years. I got to know you, but like, I don't know if life will ever, allow us to cross paths again. People go to the UK, people go to the USA, people go to Asia for school. After that, life goes on, and you just can't get everyone back together. And yeah, man, it does get scary. It's a lot to handle. It's a pretty emotional time. I can't lie. I miss a lot of my friends, man. And like the other issue is now I think even me being on a gap year because like I said before, man, I advanced so much in terms of the way I think, and how I just like conduct myself. It wasn't easy to assimilate back into this culture here in Malawi because like now it felt like I was isolated. I felt like alienated to the whole culture scene. I haven't been catching up with friends for like, I've lost those deep connections we had. You know, and yeah, it's still a struggle because the only people who I have close to me are like my closest friends. I still struggle to make friends still for some reason. I don't know. It's not like I think I'm better than anyone, but it's just that we just can't relate on so many topics. So like it's that's another con to alienate. But hey, man, graduation day is difficult, man, and even the bonfire night, yo, just trying to say goodbye to everyone, man. You're trying to say goodbye to everyone. People are getting emotional. People are giving you goodbye gifts. There's all that detachment, and man, it just happens so quickly.
Just
I just
just
wish, like, uh,
just not interrupting you, but I want to touch a
yeah,
bit on this one, right?
hmm,
Do you think the bonfire idea is a really great one where you get to say goodbye to people? Because I think being able to say goodbye to somebody gives you an idea of what's coming. It gives you an idea that, hey, the moment might be coming. I better be ready for it, right? Although we can't be
yeah,
ready entirely just because of the human we are. Uh, Talk to me. Do you think that goodbyes are a good part of, like, a good of, are they like an important factor to kind of make peace when you are leaving a place?
yeah, yeah. I think so, man. I think it's very important. It's very important, man. I don't even know what more I could say because yeah, it really does prepare you mentally. And I think another funny thing is sometimes when you're at the bonfire saying your goodbyes, you start to chat a bit with your friends, and then you start learning new things about them too. Again, you start talking to different people as well. Like, hey, I never spoke to you my entire like 2 years or like 1 year of meeting you. Like, like I just wanted to tell you I appreciate you. Even though I don't know you that much. It's just as simple as that. And that goodbye is so important because, bro, you might not see these people again in your life, bro. It prepares you. It's sort of like, I don't like to say it, but like, when you're like saying goodbye to someone who has passed away, you know, um, it gets heavy. You sort of feel a bit of percentage of that heaviness, right? And I think it just mentally prepares you, and you start accepting to say, I'm about to let go of this. I'm about to detach from this, from these people, from this way of life. And, now I need to prepare myself to gear up for a new wave, a new wave that I'm going to catch on to. And yeah, goodbyes are they're always bittersweet, man, but they're needed. And I think that bonfire just does it well.
I ask
Does it
you
well.
this question simply because you remember I left abruptly no
Yeah, man.
with no preparation to anything, no need to say
Hmm,
goodbyes, no time to do so, right? And you
hmm.
talked about how it hit you when you're in the plane, né?
Yeah,
Because when you are in that moment, it's joy, it's mixed
yeah.
emotions, people are crying and all
Hmm,
that, and you're just like,
hmm.
damn, graduation, family, the paper, freedom is
Yeah,
finally here. Oh, now everybody is leaving, right? Then you go to say goodbyes, and that prepared you to be like, oh no, I've said goodbye to that person, so even if they left, it's okay, it's cool, it's all right. But then you get on the
yeah,
plane, right? And all of a sudden you're like, oh, I'm not going back, right?
yeah,
And I
yeah.
don't even know when I'm going to meet these people tomorrow or any other day. These people have been in my life for the past 2 years. Ride and
Facts,
die with them every time.
facts,
Woke up and they were
facts.
there when I was sick.
Uh huh.
Right? Those connection you made when you living, when you were living in that place. Now it's when you're in the plane, you're like, it's now cut because I'm not going back, right?
Yeah, it's like,
There
yeah.
is, right. So I tell you this because I remember when I think Miss Josephine escorted me to the
Hmm,
bus when I was going to the airport.
hmm.
I remember literally almost half of the school came to the, because I sent a
Yeah.
message that I'm leaving, and they came to the
Yeah.
administration office, and I'm looking at them, right? And I'm just like, yeah,
Hmm.
cool, man. We will see each other. It's fine. Yeah, yeah. It happens. It's this
Yeah.
moment. And then I enter the bus, right? Mr. Darius closes. After he
Yeah.
closed the door, right? I
Hmm.
look through the window
Yeah.
and I see everybody crying, right?
Damn.
And I look at the gate, but I
Yeah.
looked at the gate, right? And I remember the day I entered this school.
Mm.
It was 5 a.m. with nobody, with Mr. Darius, only two of us in the morning,
Hmm.
only listening to the songs of the birds and listening to the air of
Yeah.
sea and all that, right?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden I look back and I'm like, it's weird. Look at me because I'm leaving and now it hits you. You're
Yeah.
like, okay, here we go, right? And then
Yep.
worse, teachers came, right?
I remember Miss Sanyu and Miss Nat,
Deepshka,
bro.
Maya,
I was
um,
like, bro.
and others, right? And then I'm like, oh, now the emotions are running through you. You're like, yeah, I'm actually leaving.
Yeah.
And then it hit me from there, and then I was like, I might not be able to see any of these people for as long as I can't even tell, right? And now
It's quite
I'm
scary.
I'm like,
Yeah.
damn. And I'm like, now I'm trying to tell Mr. Darius, right? Don't go to the airport, man. We're not late. Come on, man. Like I can say goodbyes and all that,
Yeah.
right? So I really think that you guys who had the time to say goodbye, it kind of was a preparation to what was coming, and then you're able to kind
Yeah.
of say the next morning, oh, I said goodbye to somebody. I might not be able to see them. So
Yeah.
this is it, right? Me, I didn't have the
Hmm.
preparation to do so. So yeah, it's really good to hear that the goodbyes are really part of a big factor to when we are leaving places. So I mean, talking about just being able to leave that place, right? Whether be you made
Hmm.
peace with leaving and had time to say goodbye, now you enter a new era where you're going to move on without these friends, right? Without
Yeah.
these people that you've been with for the past, like literally, people don't understand 2 years. This is what we're talking about.
That's a lot,
two
bro.
years of intimate living, right? You wake up,
Yeah,
you see
man.
these people, you share meals together, hardships, whatever it is, you share
It's
everything,
marriage.
right?
It's literally
Hey,
marriage, bro.
good reference right there. And now you get home, you're a new person, first of all, with a
Hmm.
whole bunch of philosophies laid in your head
Yeah.
and new dimension of thinking, right? How do
Yeah.
you move on without these friends you have had for 2 years? How do you reconnect with new people? And how do you move on from these old friends without cutting the relationship, but rather moving on
Mhm.
for your own heart and being able to reconnect with whatever place you're going to?
Damn. I think to be able to move on, I think you need to first of all completely accept the situation that you're in, and it does take time. Trust me, it's not like you get home the next day and you're like, oh, okay, well, I guess it's time to move on. Ah, bro, you go through some back and forths, bro. Trying to contact your friends on WhatsApp, trying to maintain that intensity, trying to make sure
Yo,
everyone has gotten home. Have you gotten home? Have I gotten home? Oh, cool. Let's set up
man,
some
what's
calls.
going on
And
over
just
there, man? I
what's
missed
going on
you.
over there? Exactly.
What you up to?
How are things? How's grad? What you up to? And like still that there's a part of you that still wants to know what's happening, in other people's lives. Like also you could speak and you could also want to still know what's happening like on campus. And trust, there's nothing wrong with that, right? There's nothing wrong with that. I tell people, accept and feel it, because this is literally loss in a sense, right? So you have to come to terms with it. And once you come to terms with it, that's when we can now get into the conversations of moving on, so let's say me, I came to terms that, okay, this is this is literally the situation in like August, right? So like when do you graduate? June, so that's like a good month and like some halves here and there. And so okay, now you sit down with yourself and you're like, in the case of a gap year student, right? You're like, okay, now I need to fill up my time. What are some things that I wanted to work on? For me, it was my health. I really wanted to get a banger body at the gym. So I started working on my workout programs, started finding gyms in my area, started getting my supplements, started working on that. Another skill that I had wanted to, sharpen was I am a I'm a forex trader. For anyone who wants to know, I'm a forex trader, and I have to, constantly evolve my skill to keep up with what's happening with the markets, right? So there was that relearning forex again, because my friends at home had gone so far in the skill, and like I was behind because I took this 2 year sabbatical in the sense at ALA, so I had to get back on that grind. For me as a Christian, I had to get back into the Word of God because your time gets taken up by a lot of things at ALA, and you don't have that time for yourself. I also wanted to work on my mind, so then I started, getting into the habit of book reading. I left some passions before, like gaming, and so I wanted to become a gamer again, but that's not working out sadly because I'm just trash at the games. But anyway, boohoo.
You're gonna be all right. You're gonna be all right.
We gonna be all right. We gonna be all right. And of course, again, I had to relink with my closest friends. So that looked like visiting them, spending time with them. Sharing my stories at ALA. Pretty wild stories, bro. And they couldn't also believe the stories because they're like, wait, this is not the same you. Yeah. And you see now, as you see, you start piecing things together, and it's not like you do everything once. Sort of just like happens naturally because now you're a person, and you also have to take care of yourself, so you need to know what you have to do. Is still going on. College apps, there's a lot, man, and you just start moving on, and before you know it, you're now starting to create your own new life.
You're
you know
moving on. Yeah.
Exactly. Now you're moving on. And, it doesn't mean like I still don't think about my friends. I still do. And I still contact them, just to play catch up and stuff like that. I still sometimes want to know what's happening on campus because, trust me, guys, let me just tell you this. LA is a very funny place. Like, it's so funny. Like, the stories that happen at LA, they're just so engaging. They're just so funny. You get a good comedy show at times because people are people, and, you know, it's just fun. So like sometimes you just want to know like what's upside. You get a good laugh. You just keep up with latest news. Yeah. You want to find out who's in the new student government.
Exactly. Like there is so much going on. Like for example, the
There's
other
so much
day,
going on.
I saw that the LA people going to the Lapela people going to sing at COP 28.
Exactly. I saw that too, man. I was like, what's that about? Since when? I was like,
Concerts are
this.
happening every day.
Look, I'm like, what? I'm like, these were the kids who are singing on stage in June, bro. How are they already like in the oil money areas singing to the people there? I'm like,
Qatar,
this
was it
is
Qatar? No,
no, no, no. Dubai.
Dubai. Yes.
Dubai. Dubai. Yeah. I'm like, how? Wait, when? I just arrived. Type of situation. Yeah. And it's surreal, bro. I don't know. You want to find out who's leaving, teachers who's leaving. I don't know. Mr. Chris Wanzala started shooting TikToks with the seagulls. I don't know what's that about, bro. It's so funny. You just want to know what's happening. You just want to know what's happening,
I
and
love
it's
I, I
okay.
I love the fact that you say you just want to know what right. It's not like you forget about things. It's only that you now start prioritizing
Yeah,
things that are within the
yeah,
premises that you're in, right? You are in Onegapia at home.
yeah.
I need to get back on my game on this and that, right? So it makes sense why you want to need to work on yourself.
It's a lot of back and forth. You fight emotions too. You know, like yeah, you just fight emotions. sometimes you're in the shower and then you just remember that one fight and recollect the entire situation, and you start thinking of a different scenario of how you'd have answered someone when they disrespected you.
Me- let me
Yeah, man,
tell
it
you one of
happens.
the situations that I can't quite, I'm not able to get out of my head, right? So you got people, I think you got yourself, Maziko, you got Kazazak, you got Richie, you got
Yeah,
Tafara, you got Spencer, you got
yeah,
A.K.A. These are all my friends, right?
hmm,
And we are doing the battle of the
yeah,
axe, right? And then we
yeah,
have all these battles from the field all the way to the mind games. And then we get to the balloon time,
yeah.
right? And I see the guys that I go into trust, the guys that I go into any place, the guys that I think they are my closest friend, right? You all go on and start busting
Bro,
our balloons, right? And I'm like, God,
yeah,
Jesus
yeah.
Christ, how do I take in this as much as I'm a friend? Like, you people are just sabotaging our whole, like, come on.
Bruh. Facts, facts. It does happen, and it's normal because you're human, bro. You just these just experiences, and it doesn't mean that you're backward or like you can't move on. Nah, bro, that's part of the process because you're still moving on no matter what. And then one day just happens that you completely detach, and just take the time because you know what I've realized. There's something that I've been thinking about.
Mm-hmm.
There's a difference in ignoring something,
Mm-hmm.
and there's also
Preach,
another
Papa.
difference in moving on, right? Because I feel like some people they're just quick to try to like ignore their feelings, right? And
Okay.
then they classify that as moving on, right? Just because you're ignoring the stuff that you're feeling, but that's not it.
Can you repeat
You're
that,
not allowing
please?
yourself to feel. There's a difference between ignoring, right, and moving on. You know what I'm saying? Moving on, you actually allow yourself to process and you allow it to take the time. That's moving on. You get what I'm saying? But like ignoring it, it's like you're just placing the bar and like trying to forget. And usually it doesn't work because now, let's say you're sitting alone and then you're sad and then you remember how you once had a peer counselor who would come to you and talk to you when you were sad. But like this is like probably 2 years after A.L.A. And like you just start crying. And then you start reminiscing over the entire A.L.A. thing. You hadn't healed, you hadn't moved on, and it's like, did you really move on or are you just ignoring, and then now look what's happening. So to avoid that, allow it, bro. Feel the pain, bro. It's okay. It's okay to mourn. Just keep on going.
What you just said right there is pure wisdom, not knowledge. No, 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 no. It's wisdom, right? Literally, I'm being serious here, right? Because I think most of the time it's not about leaving places. It's about accepting any other situation that happens in life, right?
Yeah,
You gotta accept everything you're feeling, whether it be pain, whether it be rejection in any way, like this place. No, no, no. Feel it,
yeah,
right? Let it
yeah,
be in you.
yeah,
Think about it, right? And then when you accept it, like, yeah, it happened. Okay, let me find a
yeah.
footing. How do I move on, right?
Uh-huh.
That's
Uh-huh.
pure wisdom right there. And speaking about now you left the friends and now you're living a new place, right?
Yeah.
I think it's really important to kind of talk about what is now your identity, right? Are you
Mm-hmm.
now the outgoing, energetic guy you were at ALA, or now you are the more conscious guy who lives in a new environment where people don't think the way you have been thinking for the past 2 years? And if you are in this situation, right, how do you
Mm-hmm.
switch, right, from being this guy who thinks on a different dimension when
Mm-hmm.
you are talking to me and the people you left at ALA? And then how do you switch
Mm-hmm.
back when you're talking to the people who might not relate to what you say, right?
Mm. Yeah. Yo, how do I answer this? First, okay, to answer your first question, inside, I just still believe that I am a very extroverted, outgoing guy. I think in the social spaces that I've been in, I've made new friends. I talk to people who are, you know, just different, and I think I just enjoy that because that has always been me. Being extroverted has always been me. Um, and like I I don't know if I'm actually switching back. I don't think you can ever switch back so easily. But that doesn't mean that I exclude myself. I just can't. I just try to just be me, you know, in every space that I'm in. And what I realized also was I had thought that I would not be accepted into these new spaces, right? Because possibly they wouldn't share the same views as me. But then now it's a situation where they find me interesting. You get what I'm saying? And now I'm interesting to them. It's like now they also want to learn more about me, and I also want to learn more about them. And it's like it's just basic relationship 101. Building friendships, and all those deep relationships and stuff like that. Because you've changed, you've become a new person, but that doesn't mean that new person cannot be um like accepted in a new space. So just being true to myself, understanding who I am, understanding what I learned, understanding my values, how I think. Yeah, that's been it. And also still learning new things about the communities that I'm in, because they have also been growing. I think that's another thing that I wasn't taking into account to say. They have also been growing. I have also been growing. So our experiences will still be different, and we'll still be growing in our respects, and we can learn something new about each other. And so I'm just loving that new discovery of myself. Although right now I'm still in a period of isolation, in a sense where I'm still trying to like filter out some habits that I have that I don't really like. I'm trying to learn new skills, like playing chess, bro. Can you imagine? I now have like a 700 elo. So elo is like your rating on chess online. I moved from like 100 elo at ALA to like 700 elo in the past like 3 months. And like I've been enjoying that. I've been enjoying learning how to sing. I'm not gonna sing. Don't ask me to sing claret. Okay, I know you're gonna do something like that. Don't do that to me. I've also started, getting back into cooking and stuff like that. So you just keep going. You know what I'm
I'm
saying?
sure.
Just
I'm
keep
sure Kaza
going.
Kaza would have such a great attitude when he is what you're rating on chess.
Imagine, yeah, I want to fight. I want to like fight him in a game. I don't know if it's called fighting or play him. I don't know. But like I texted him, and I was telling him some chess openings, and this guy literally left his work, and he was like, "Bro, I love you so much. Let's
That's
talk
something he
chess."
would do. That I'm
You
sure
know.
that's something he would do. Now, I think it's really, you talk about the fact that you, you're living now in a community where people have grown to, right? So how do we
Yeah, yeah,
merge our growth together and grow together,
exactly.
right?
Yeah,
And
exactly.
you being them welcoming in who they are, right? And I think most of
Yeah,
the people have a fear that if I'm me, what is the image the new me going to project out there? Because they already knew me in
yeah,
a different way. But I say
yeah,
every day that I think growth is one of the most important thing to kind of display every time anyway, right?
yeah.
Because you don't know how people are going. Just be you, right? And it might feel uncomfortable for
Literally.
them at the beginning, right? It might feel
Hmm.
like they don't, you. As long as the new you doesn't hurt
Yeah,
anyone, it
yeah,
might be
yeah.
uncomfortable, but if it doesn't hurt, please be you.
That's so true, man. That is seriously true. Like right now I'm reading this book. It's called Emotional Intelligence 2.0. Yes, I'm trying to improve my emotional intelligence. So what? But then one profound quote was, if you're not growing, then you are dying, in any aspect. Because if you're not trying to grow, just know over time you're going to become obsolete. Like computers, they're there in a specific time. They have the specific specifications for that time. But then 5 years down the line, they need to evolve. So you too, as a person, you need to evolve so that you can also suit the market, I'll just call it a people market of that time. And the only way you can do that is if you actually grow. You can't just say, oh, this is who I am, this is who I'm gonna be for the rest of my life. Nah, please try to grow and find new things about you. Anyone who's trying to apply to ALA, and if you miraculously get in, please adopt that growth mindset. It's gonna help you a lot. It's fun. It is fun.
I
Rule number
think
one: adopt the growth mindset.
I think when you allow yourself to grow and learn new things, it's you just look. They say that when you see people speak, right, it's because their mind has been filled and now it's peeling out, right? So
Mm-hmm.
when you allow yourself to grow, you are allowing that more to come. So that when you leave any place you're in, you now start spilling your growth out there, right? So the
True.
growth is really,
True.
really important.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
Man, wow. Um, Look, there is so much to talk about, and I just, I don't want to take much of your time, but however, before
Yeah.
we call it a day, right?
Mm-hmm.
I just want to give some love. I mean, we've given love to ALA. It's an incredible place that nobody can ever replace in our words. You and me, I think
Yeah.
we had the segment with many other people. But I want to talk about one thing.
Yeah.
The ALA forgivable loan, if I'm pronouncing it correctly.
Really forgivable. Yeah.
So you remember that at ALA when we applied, we were basically told that you're given this scholarship and you'll be able to after after whatever university you're going to, and after the age of 25 you'll be able to come back on the
Mm-hmm.
African continent, work from here,
Mm-hmm.
I think for a period of
Mm-hmm.
10 years.
Yeah.
I think if I'm not mistaken, please go check up the statistics if I am, but I think that's what it is. And you would come to just kind of do some contribution to the continent, right? But
Yeah.
now,
Yeah.
surprisingly, ALA has restructured the way the loan is uh, paid for, right? Before it was the
Yeah.
10 years
Yeah.
you worked on the continent. But now
Mm-hmm.
you don't have to pay. For us, for people who came previously and people who will be coming in the coming years, right?
Yeah.
And the reason why they said that the reason why they do this is because the alumni engagement was really really going down, right? And they feel like as a
Mm-hmm.
community we need to understand our differences, and one of the values at ALA is we celebrate our differences, and we welcome you however you are. And so now they say we are going to allow you people to go work wherever you want, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we believe that you can still make an impact on the continent without working on the continent, right?
Yeah.
To me, my opinion is I think it's a great thing. I think now you allow people to chase their aspirations and dreams, which will eventually turn into something bigger than the opportunity they would probably would have got on the continent, right? And if you think about most of the people who are alumni have already started showing impact on the
Doing great
continent,
stuff. Yeah.
regardless where they are, right? So tell
Mm-hmm.
us what do you think? Like, do you think this is a good thing? And if it's a good thing, uh, you know, do you encourage people to sign the pledge? Because you actually have to sign the pledge that you are going to agree. There is a whole description of what the pledge is and what consists the whole process of giving back, right? But
Yeah.
do you think it's a great thing in your opinion?
When I read that, I was like on my bed, and it was like 1 a.m. and I was like, this is it. This is a rare W that ALA actually gets. I think I like the system better of like, you having to pledge, and like, now you can freely give to your capacity, and like it's no longer like you're 10 years bound here, find out what you're gonna do, and guns blaze it. And I just thought that wasn't healthy in a sense. At least to me, I just didn't find it healthy. Plus, most of my dreams I had already like made to say, I'm gonna work in such a country. And then probably at the end of, my life, probably when I'm 40, return to Africa and start doing my things, you know. But then now it's like, oh, okay, I can still make a contribution. And I'm still yet to read on what the pledge is like. I don't know if it's like money or if it's like you start in a company or whatever, I
It's
don't know
it's
what it
it's
is.
actually it's actually about you basically are able to contribute to any A.A. If it's an event you want to host, if it's I think if it's a interview you want to help do, if it's a you want to moderate a meeting, whatever it is, and LA can be able to reach out to anyone. If you are working in the health sector, they call you, we need somebody who
Yeah.
will be a guest here and here.
Yeah.
Then you just be able to contribute like that, right? But then I actually think it's they open up a whole new dimension because now I don't have to worry about um I'm not on the continent. If I
Yeah,
engage with
exactly.
ALA, how is it gonna look like, right? I think it's a
True.
whole new dimension that I think it's gonna allow people to even, in whatever ways they wanna, if it's an idea they think LA should implement, they are not afraid of
Hmm.
putting it out there because now they have no pressure of being perceived as. No, let me not say the word, but yeah, um,
Yeah. And I really like it because now you can be creative, right? In how you're gonna give back. You create your own version of, okay, this is how I'm going to give back. And so it sort of removes that guilt because, like, sometimes you feel guilty, like, ish, man, so I should just like not work on the continent, but then like that's not fair. You know what I'm saying? But then now it's like, okay, cool, I can contribute this way, I can contribute another way, and before you realize it, you have more impact, than what it would have been before if you were just like working and like doing your venture on the continent. You find different ways you could, like, make yourself like resourceful. And I think that's the beauty of, this new thing. I like it. I'm excited to see how I will also contribute my fair share, to this thingy, this loan thing, whether it's me starting, my own company, employing ALA kids, who are on gap years. I don't know, whatever it could be.
that's a good
But
one.
yeah, I think it's a beautiful thing. The big people who took part in that decision. Please know you're loved, even as you. We're sorry, but yes, we love you so much, and thank you so much.
No, definitely, please. I think Din Hatim and the crew, I mean the CEO, uh, the people behind the whole thing. I know there is so many unsung heroes when it comes to LA because of how the structure is
That's
laid
true.
out. But
Yeah,
really, everybody who came up with the whole idea, I think there was such a big engagement with alumni representatives, I guess,
yeah,
in terms of saying, okay, what do you, because it was a two-way communication. So what do you guys think? How should we do it? I think that's another great aspect of ALA, just being able to connect with alumni and ask for their opinion in whatever um, that is going to affect them, right? So everybody, if you're an LA student, alumni, current, um, I don't know, from 2008, whichever year, please go sign the pledge. I think it's a great thing to do. It's really incredible that we all be able to, I think, to sign it because I think it's again, it's just helping, right? Because now
yeah.
I feel motivated too because it, I don't have to worry about the whole thing, right? Anyways, Maziko,
Yeah, man.
thank you. You know,
No, I
thank you
appreciate it,
so
man.
much.
I appreciate it.
We have dived so much into how you live that ALA and what living in places and making connections and deep relationships can do to you and get you attached to, know,
Yep.
a big like there is a big bond formed right there. And now when you cut them, what
Hmm.
happens, what goes on, right? It's all in this
Yep.
episode which we called living and living places. um
Indeed.
Yeah, I'll put it in words so that people don't get confused of how to spell those because I feel like I'm not pronouncing them well. Again, people have not applied early. I encourage you to apply. Maziko did the same. Maziko, do you want them
Yep.
to apply?
I need them to apply by force. And actually, you know what? Even if you don't get in now, apply again. Let me tell you something. I applied twice to ALA, man. I got in on my second application, man. So don't give up, okay? Trust me, they don't always know what's good. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta keep pushing. But if it doesn't work on the second, maybe third time's the charm, bro. Like
That was unexpected. That was unexpected. But no, please. I also got in on the second time, right? I don't know many
yeah.
people know this. We many people get into the second time just because of how many people apply there. So please apply. If you get rejected, what do we say? Moan your pain. Okay, your rejections.
More
Get
your
back
pain,
up.
bro.
Do it
Yeah.
again. Right? It's an opportunity
Yeah.
that can't
Yeah.
slip through your hands. Uh, so thank you so much, Maziko Mijoya, our guest. We appreciate you. The people on this podcast love you. They will love your voice and your energy. I have been able to witness you in real life and see you live, doing things live, not here, because this is, virtually.
Yeah.
But thank you and God bless you,
Yeah, man. Thank you so much. I appreciate it, man. God bless you too. And I think when you have another episode idea, bro, I gotta be on it because I just like talking.
I
I just like
actually
talking.
I actually might call you. I might call you. There's a coming. There's an episode coming. I wanna do university versus gap year, where we have a gap year
Yeah.
person and a university person. I
Yeah.
will let you know how that
Oh yeah,
goes.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, over time, it's coming Christmas and people will be busy, so I gotta have to see how to navigate all that. But
Cool.
incredible episode. Thank you so much, Maziko. People,
Appreciate it, man.
this was our episode called Living and Living Places. You have been with Maziko Mijoya, aka Jabulani, our guest from Malawi. I am your host, Giraneza Gimba Claret. Thank you for being with us and making this a your podcast. I will see you next time. It's a wrap.
It's a wrap.